I'm Chris, you're watching FRAG-MENTAL, thank you for joining me. So I thought I'd start a new series for the autumn on my channel called Fall Favourites. Yes, I know I'm not American and some of you don't like it when I say fall, but I've lived in America for a short time during the fall, so I think I get a pass on that one, plus the alliteration is better. So in this video, I'll be talking about a fantastic autumn offering. There you go, for all the UK viewers, I said autumn, from Navitus Parfums, and also make sure you stay tuned to the end for the giveaway. I thought I'd do this fall favourite series because I have a lot of fragrances that just work so well in the autumn. A lot of people who are into fragrances love this season because we can bust out the more complex, richer fragrances that I think a lot of frag lovers really like, because there's just more to them sometimes. There's more nuances, there's more complexity, there's more depth, and often they are bigger performers as well. You know, we can wear those strong fragrances that can fill a room and can last. So loads of people who are into fragrances love autumn. So I thought I would put together a series of videos during this autumn season. I'm not sure how many I'll do because it depends on how many I've got, but I feel like I've got a lot of fragrances that are perfect for autumn that I'd really love to share with you. So I thought I would start this video with Arcanum from Navitus Parfums. The brand approached me and asked me if I would like to talk about one of their fragrances. I had previously done a first impressions of the three newer ones with Stephen from Riddle Essence, who is the creative owner of the brand, and during that first impressions I decided that Arcanum was my favourite. So Navitus very kindly sent me this fragrance to talk about. First of all, I'll just let you have a look at the first impressions where I was sitting with Stephen and I smelled this for the first time.
And this one will be called Arcanum or Arcanum.
Yeah. And
this one means mysterious.
so I get a bit of fruitiness. I mentioned I get a little bit of fruit.
Yeah.
Was this the osmanthus in this one, which sometimes makes me think of like an apricot type of accord? I think the osmanthus note is quite front and centre. I don't really pick up much on the oud in terms of it being a prominent scent profile in this. I don't really. There's nothing animalic about it. I think it is a full-bodied and dense scent, but I don't think it's like a super coconut fragrance.
Yeah, it's certainly not tropical in that regard. It's very dark, mysterious, but I didn't want to go with something that was like overly dark. And so I think that if you focus too much on like the benzoin and the woods and the tobacco and the smoke and the spice and the ash, I think something like that can be quite rugged and also hard to wear.
Yeah, just to give you an idea, it's kind of playing in the same sandpit, I guess, as Herod, but it has some lovely differences that separate it completely from that fragrance.
Absolutely. Yeah.
I enjoy them all. Okay. I'd probably say that third one is my favourite.
Oh, really?
Just off this initial first impressions, this is the one that really connects with me the most. All right, let's talk about Arcanum. So, first of all, let's look at the really beautiful bottle, and I'll tell you the notes. There's cinnamon, coconut, frankincense, labdanum, osmanthus, oud, dark amberwoods, vanilla, and tonka bean. This is a 2020 release. The nose behind it is Jorge Lee, who's also done a lot with Nishane. You may know Hachivat, which Jorge composed. A lot of people really enjoy that one, me included. The first thing that you get when you spray this fragrance is a real feeling of luxury, and you can tell that there's some really high quality natural materials used in this. In terms of the scent, I get a sweet spiciness probably coming from the cinnamon, and there's a fruity accord in here as well. And I think the fruitiness is probably coming from osmanthus, which I'm finding I really love osmanthus when it's in fragrances. It comes off as like an apple or apricot type of accord. It's actually a floral, but it does have a very fruity accord. So you've got that appley apricot smell mixed with the cinnamon, so it is just a beautiful opening. Coconut is also listed in the notes. I wouldn't say it's a strong note to me. I don't really get a lot of coconut. Sometimes when coconut is in a fragrance, we can get this suntan lotion type of feel because they use that accord a lot in in suntan lotions. So I don't really get a strong coconut at all. Maybe it's adding a little bit of creaminess to the opening, but again, yeah, not a strong coconut note. Underneath this really nice, bright but rich opening, you are instantly aware there's some serious woods packed into this. There's some serious woody firepower in this fragrance, and that is of course because we have oud in this. Now the woods are almost waiting in line during the opening. They're not fully revealing themselves for the first half an hour of this fragrance, but they absolutely do take their turn to shine as the fragrance dries down. So the opening of this fragrance, just to sum up, is very rich and opulent and luxurious feeling. As I mentioned, as this one dries down quite quickly, the woods come out to play, and the woods here are of course oud. Now it's not a stinky oud at all, don't worry about that. It's the kind of use of oud that is just adding some structure and some muscularity to the fragrance. Also in the base we have notes of vanilla and tonka bean and some resins, which only further add this feeling of kind of rich luxury to the overall composition. And I do want to note here that I associate this with a tobacco accord as well, this type of fragrance. Tobacco isn't listed, so I think it is just a combination of maybe the woods and the resins and the sweetness, perhaps the vanilla, just creating this phantom tobacco accord. But if it was in the note breakdown, if someone said yes, there is tobacco in here, I would absolutely believe them. As you saw in my first impressions with Stephen, I mentioned it reminded me a little bit of Parfum de Marly's Herod. I do just want to reiterate that it doesn't smell exactly like Herod at all. It just reminded me a little bit of it, so it's in a similar genre. They do share common notes of incense, vanilla, osmanthus and cinnamon. Interestingly though, I get this phantom tobacco accord from Arcanum. There is no tobacco in here, there is tobacco in Herod, and in Herod, on the dry down in particular, I get this phantom coconut accord. I don't know if anybody else gets that, so it's interesting that I get a phantom accord of coconut in Herod, which is actually in this one, and a phantom accord of tobacco in this one, which is actually in Herod. So I just feel like there are similarities to the DNA. I do feel like there's a little bit of crossover. Maybe I'm getting the impression there's tobacco in this because I associate a tobacco scent with Herod. I don't know, it might just be me, but I just thought it was worth mentioning. And I think the similarities are more in the opening rather than in the dry down. I think they open quite similar, but then they both go in a completely different direction. So even though to me there were similarities to a point, I would say Arcanum is a much woodier scent. I think it's got more attitude, it's more assertive. I think this is a little bolder than Herod. I think it's a bit more of a statement making fragrance, but still has enough mass appeal to it. It's certainly not challenging in any way at all. That's one of the things I love about this, is how easy it is to wear. So even though I found similarities, that might not account for everybody. And please do not buy this expecting to get Herod, because you are not going to get the same scent. I merely just wanted to make a slight comparison just to give you an idea that they both in a similar genre of scent in terms of the profile of the scent and when you might choose to wear it. That leads me on to the FRAG-MENTAL. Let's start with the performance. So for me, the initial projection was around about 2 hours, and it's not going to fill a room, it's not projecting massively, but I think if people come within around 2 meters of you, they're definitely going to smell you. And the overall longevity for me was around 8 to 10 hours, and I'm happy to say that throughout the whole life of the fragrance, even between that 8 and 10 hour mark, I'm still getting intermittent wafts of a fragrance, and that doesn't always happen. Sometimes fragrances fizzle out too quickly, a little bit too quickly for my liking. You don't get that with this. I got those lovely intermittent wafts throughout the whole life of this fragrance. So I describe the performance of this one as very good. It's not a beast mode at all, but I get very good performance off this one. This video is quite timely, and this is why I wanted to put it in this Fall Favourites series, because I think the season to wear this for me personally is going to be in the autumn. It just has the notes, it just has that lovely richness and complexity that I love wearing throughout the autumn period. I think you could get away with wearing this on some spring days and definitely winter days as well. It would work for any kind of cooler temperatures. In the height of summer, I think it's maybe going to be a little bit too rich. But for me, autumn is perfect. The occasion to wear this, I think, would be a formal occasion because of the luxurious feel of this fragrance, or maybe even a date night scent or an evening scent, but any kind of notable occasion I think really ties in with the opulent feel of this fragrance. It's 100% unisex, it doesn't lean masculine or feminine. Now let's talk about the prices. You can pick this one up for $108 for 50ml on the Navitus website. Just check, but I do think they have an offer where if you buy 2 bottles you can qualify for free international delivery. Don't quote me on that, but I did see someone mention it. So when you go onto the website, do just check that one out. It might be a good way of managing to get some free delivery, even if you're not based in the US, which Navitus are shipping out of the US. And I'm happy to report that you're very lucky watching this video because I have a discount code for you. You can use the code FRAG-MENTAL10 when you check out, and that is going to give you a further 10% discount. So I'll drop a link to the website in the description to make it easy for you to get there, and use code FRAG-MENTAL10 just to get yourself a nice little bit of money off. Okay, the exciting part, let's talk about the giveaway. So Navitus have very kindly supplied me with this to give away to my subscribers. You're gonna get 3 15ml fragrances in here. You're gonna get 15ml of Arcanum, which is the one I've just been talking about, Lautus and Opulentus. So you get the 3 most recent releases from Navitus. So you're getting a nice bit of juice. So this is a good prize. I am gonna say that this is UK and US only. I'm not sure about the rest of the world. I'm going to be able to ship this to someone within the UK. I can't ship outside of the UK because of regulations. It's just too messy, too difficult. Sometimes it doesn't get there. So I would if I could, but unfortunately I can't. And Navitus will ship to a US winner of this. So there will be a UK and a US winner. Apologies if you're not in either of those 2 countries. It just gets difficult to ship outside of the country that you're posting from. I am posting this at my cost, so obviously it's going to cost me a lot more to post it to other European destinations, and like I said, it might not get there. So UK and US, don't forget to let me know which country you are in your comments. So to be in with a chance to win, obviously you got to leave a comment and be subscribed to my channel. Now I would also like to ask you to follow me on Instagram, and also to follow Navitus Parfums on Instagram. What I'm going to do is in a week's time I will notify the winner via Instagram. So you do need an Instagram account to be eligible for this. It's free to set up, so if you've not got one, set one up just so you can enter. Why not? It's not going to cost you anything. It just gets really difficult to notify winners here on YouTube. You wouldn't believe it, but the amount of times I've messaged people to let them know they've won, they don't see it, they don't respond, and no one ends up getting the prize. Whereas every time I've done it via Instagram, people usually get that DM and they usually respond and claim the prize. So we are going to do this via Instagram. So leave a comment, let me know whether you're UK or US. Also leave your Instagram handle, and then I know where to look for you to let you know if you've won. Just to finish off with summing up my thoughts on Arcanum, this is right up my street. It's got lots of notes in here that I love. It's got a complexity, it's got a richness, it's got a great performance. So I thoroughly enjoy this, and I'm really looking forward to wearing this over the coming months. If you've tried this one, I would love to hear what you think about Arcanum, so please do let me know in the comments down below. So that's it from me. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you found it useful. Thank you very much for watching. Remember, keep tuning into FM, keep smelling good, and I'll see you in the next one.